You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, General Hospital fans. It is Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I am wondering if Nikolas Cassadine is going to kidnap his son Ace and run off with him. Right now, Nikolas has these big plans that seem very ominous, for his family, and official spoilers have me worried about something happening to baby Ace. I'm going to dig into those official spoilers and what could be coming. But if you haven't already, please reach down, click subscribe so you don't miss any of our General Hospital updates. So right now, Nikolas Cassadine has a couple of goals in mind. He wants to avoid jail time for holding Esme Prince prisoner at the castle. He wants to make sure Spencer Cassadine doesn't get the family fortune. He wants to make sure that people know he's alive so that he retains his access to the fortune as the oldest son. But at the same time, he also wants to avoid these people. So he wants them to know he's alive, but he doesn't want to be around them. Messy. And then he talked about a family reunion, but what does that mean? Well, I've got some very specific ideas. So Nikolas is not going to turn himself in, and he refused to have a meaningful conversation with Austin about the whole Ava situation. So Nikolas might be upset that Ava is selling Windermere, but if he gets his hands on that Cassadine money, he could be an anonymous buyer and he could get it out because he is very attached to it, and it would be really strange if it was out of the hands of a Cassadine. Nikolas doesn't really care if Ava is facing jail time for killing him, first of all. But second of all, once he reveals himself to be alive, however he's planning to do that in a subtle way, that kind of takes that concern for Ava off the table. And he told Austin flat out that he doesn't think that Ava gives two shakes if he's alive or dead. He told Austin his plan is to head to Europe, and he's got some business to do to get rid of, to get his hands back on the family fortune and all that. So Nikolas also mentioned to Austin that there's a family reunion ahead. That came on Friday's episode on the 15th when he was talking about money, not caring what Ava thinks, and making sure he gets his hands on the Cassadine cash. So he mentioned that there is a family reunion ahead. And he did make clear that he wants his mom, Laura Spencer, to know that he's alive. But when he and Austin were talking about Laura, Austin's like, are you going to go see her? And he's like, no. He wants his mom to know he's alive, so she stops looking and stops worrying. But he doesn't want to see her, and I imagine it's because he doesn't want to hear a lecture about his craptastic behavior. This time, it wasn't, I won't say it wasn't his fault. It was fully his fault that Ava cracked him in the head because he was being douchey and was threatening her daughter. I feel like he deserved that crack to the head. So inasmuch as he provoked Ava, a woman that he knows is a literal killer, if you guys don't remember that, yeah, she's actually a killer. He brought it on himself. And so the coma part isn't his fault, but what happened to cause the coma totally is. And Spencer and everybody else assumes he just ran off to avoid accountability and responsibility for the Esme thing, which he probably would have done, left to his own devices. So at the same time, when Nikolas was talking to Austin, he expressed no interest in seeing his son Spencer. He didn't mention other family members, Alexis or Sam. He just talked about a family reunion and then, wanting to make sure that Laura knew. So it could be that the family reunion he meant was Spencer, but I don't think so. Instead, I think this is about his infant son, Ace Cassadine. So just like insane Victor Kiriakis did, I believe that Nikolas sees Ace as the future of the family, but without Esme being any sort of part of it. If you recall, when he found out she was pregnant with his kid, he went to great lengths to keep her where he could keep his thumb on her, kept her locked up in the tower. And he told her repeatedly that once the baby was born, she could just take a hike, and he was keeping the kid and she was not to be involved. Now that he is out of the coma and completely healed and he can take action, I think he is going to do what he already told her he was going to do. He already made that promise and he made that plan. He always planned to raise Ace as a single parent and to make sure Esme, as the horrible child of two serial killers, would have no chance to influence his child. Nikolas also knows how badly he failed his oldest son, Spencer Cassadine. So I think he sees this as a chance to be a better dad, where Victor saw Ace, because remember, Victor took Ace too, because he saw, this is the next generation of Cassadines. I want to be the one to mold him. Similarly, Nikolas wants to make sure he's the one to mold Ace and not Esme, not Spencer, not anybody else. So there are some official GH spoilers for week after next, the week of September 25th, that tie to this possible kidnapping of baby Ace. And I'm going to talk about those in 1 second. If you are enjoying this, please click a like. We love those thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please reach down and click subscribe so you don't miss any of our updates. So spoilers for the week of September 25th. Says Esme sounds an alarm. She's alerting people to a problem. Right now, Trina and Spencer are planning their big New York City trip, and Esme was eavesdropping at the invader offices and overheard it. So a lot of people are assuming, I'm seeing in the comments and I'm seeing on social media, people are assuming that Esme sounding an alarm is her pulling a stunt to stop Spencer from taking Trina out of town. That's plausible, very plausible, but because of the Nikolas family reunion comment, and because we already know he had a stated goal of raising his new son as a single parent, him kidnapping Ace Cassadine makes a whole lot of sense to me. It would be pretty easy for Nikolas to slide into Laura's apartment and grab his son. He might have a key, or he might know a back door he could creep in. I mean, he's been at his mom's plenty, so I'm sure he's got access. And if Ace went missing, Esme raising an alarm is definitely what would happen. So it fits the spoiler. And Nikolas stealing Ace would drastically change Esme's fate. She's being tolerated by a lot of people for the sake of the baby. So if Nick does take Ace, where does that leave Esme? Homeless? Jobless? Still an amnesiac? And if, as a lot of people suspect, she is faking the amnesia, losing Ace could tip her hand because it would probably drive her into a fit of rage. Maybe being so stressed out about losing Ace would bring her memories back, because maybe it would trigger her to recall the threats that Nick was making about taking her son. That would be kind of interesting. All right, that's everything we've got on this. If it goes down, it would be later this coming week or early the following week. We don't have a date on when she sounds the alarm. But I truly suspect the family reunion that Nikolas is looking forward to is meeting his new son and spiriting him away. The question is, will he get away with it? Probably. He is a Cassadine after all. All right, guys, drop your comments below on whether you think Nikolas is going to kidnap Ace, whether you think Ace would be better off if he did. I mean, if the choice of Nikolas versus Esme as the amnesiac is okay, but if her memories ever come back, I definitely think she would be the worst parent, but Nick is no prize either. Drop your comments. I love your comments. I read them all. I appreciate you guys tuning in every day to listen to our new GH content. Thank you so much. This has been Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.